I'm at Westernburt for day 2 of the ARB Show, the biggest tree care event on the UK's arboricultural calendar. I'm joined by Billy on the Jas P. Wilson stand. Billy, how has the ARB Show been for you so far?
It's been surprisingly good. We're here mainly for the proper launch of the Mantis de-liming machine that we've developed really over the last 6 years. It's changed dramatically during that time, but now I think we're settled on the design and we're now into production and taking orders.
Great, so well, tell us a bit about the Mantis then. What is the idea behind it?
Well, the original idea came from really a local tree surgeon who had a saw kicked back and he cut his face open, and then a couple of years later he was climbing a tree and the tree split and pulled him in and almost cut him in two. And I thought, gee whiz, there must be a safer way of doing this.
Yeah.
So I started experimenting our own wee piece of woodland with a very basic hydraulic powered saw, and gradually developed it over the last 6 years to where it is today. And really, originally we were aiming at dropping limbs on the roadsides around the field perimeters. But once we started using it more, we realised that once we dropped the limb, we could actually sned it and cross-cut it. And then we realised if we had a grapple, we could move the stuff around, tidy it up, separate out the valuable timber, and thought if we could feed a wood chipper with it, it'd be even better. So then we made the cutting device fold out of the way, and then you drop the grab down, and then you can tidy it all up, and you can actually feed a chipper as well, without the need for anyone to actually have a chainsaw. So then we realised if you drop a large hardwood tree with your conventional saw, you can go and put it in the pickup and leave it there and process the whole tree without using the chainsaw. And you can also do that one with our 300, which is the baby one that will go in a 2.5 ton digger, which you can pull behind your Land Rover and bring it to site with you, do the job, and take it away again. And it looking like, I would say, one man can do the work of 2 or 3 people processing a large tree like that. I would have said safely in half the time that those guys would do it. And you look at your chainsaw and you take your 10 biggest hazards, you can put a pen through the whole lot while that guy's sitting in there with his air conditioning on, quite comfortable, quite safe. It's not doing his back in, it's no risk of cutting himself. So massive safety feature, and I truly do believe it's the way forward. It won't do everything, but if it would do 25% of what the tree surgeons have to do, it would fill a massive gap, because there is a shortage of people to do the work now. And it's not hard graft, and it's safe.
It's very impressive on the demonstration, but to the untrained eye, it looks like it might be a bit complicated. How is it to operate?
It's surprisingly easy, but one of the local contractors came in and with the 300, the little one there, and he worked for an afternoon with Philip, who's a guy that demonstrates them. And by the end of the afternoon, he could remember what the controls did without looking. So he took it away with him. He did a week, and I was speaking to him on a daily basis. By the end of the first week, he was starting to feel as if he was starting to get reasonably efficient. But by the end of the second week, he was at a point where he wasn't have to think anymore. So he was able to think about something else. But it does. It's like a computer game to operate. The young ones pick it up in no time at all. You can see that from today, the interest that's there from the younger generation that are coming on. They're going to want one of these. They're going to want to drive them. So no, very pleased with the response. Some people, when they first see it, they think it's a gimmick, but when you actually explain it to them and you go and show them a wee bit of film and some of the jobs that we've done, I think people get it after that, and they do see a place for it. And it'll only evolve further as we go along. We've got 3 models just now, and I could see that turning into 10 different models, different adaptions of it. So really exciting for Jas P. Wilson this.
And talk us through the 3 different models that you currently have.
So the 300 is the one you see over there on the 2.5 tonner. So it'll reach 5 metres up, so it will drop limbs. But our main target there is if you drop a large hardwood tree, it will do the rest of the work. The 400 that's behind us there on the JCB, that's really for 10, 11 tonners, and that's really for roadside work, around the perimeters of fields. And again, it could dismantle a certain amount of the tree if you wanted before you dropped it. But once it's on the ground, you can put your chainsaw away if you so wish.
Right. And what about maintenance? Because it does have quite a few different aspects to it, the Mantis, with all the things that it's required to do. How will people find, you think, maintenance of the machine?
Well, it's far less complicated than a harvester. Your John Deere's, Komatsu's, Onsi's. But we do have a network of service engineers who will be fully trained on this, and they will carry the spare parts for it. So we're not frightened of that aspect at all. Jaspi Wilson's cover the whole of the UK themselves, so real good service engineers, and I'd like to think our reputation's built on our service, and this machine will be no different.
Excellent. Well, it's been great for us to see it in action, and if you do get the chance to see it, you certainly should. Billy, thank you very much for talking to us.
Thank you.